Hola mes amis, long time no see. Mwah, missed you guys. Welcome back, welcome back. And if you're new, bienvenue. But that kiss was not for you. It was for subscribers. Because you're just a stranger. Until you hit that subscribe button, then you become family. You gotta become family. Tiene que ser familia. ¿Tú sabes? ¿Me entiendes? Capiche? Okay. Yes, welcome back, guys. So today I hate to be redundant, but I want to react to some more DNA tests. I know. I think that's like the very last video I posted. Well, I posted one after that and took it down. But yeah, I really like DNA tests. And today I found more Creole people's DNA tests. Like those were hard for me to find last time. And look, please don't come in my comments with the I understand they're not always 1,000% correct. These are not the end all and be all to live our lives to. No, I know we don't need to walk around with our DNA results written on our foreheads. It's not about that. They do just tell like an extra story that, otherwise would be hard to tell for ourselves. Yeah, they're not always completely correct, but on the continental level, which is, your basic racial level, those things be correct. Now, once it gets down to like regional levels, yes, it's hard to tell Spanish from Portuguese and French from British sometimes and French from German. Like it's hard to tell. And then we know in Africa, these are all man-made borders. We understand that, our ancestors were a part of different tribes, different ethnic groups. And, that part is hard for us to, figure out all these hundreds of years later. So I think at least knowing the region they came from, hey, it's more information than we used to have, right? But today we're looking at Creole results. I found 3 beautiful Creole ladies, one of which is one of my subscribers. I didn't even know she had a DNA video up here until someone else had tagged her in my comments. The Creole Vlog, hi gorgeous. She leaves me great comments all the time. I liked her DNA video. She has a channel too, so y'all go check out her channel, the Creole Vlog. Yeah, so let's get into these results. Oh, and this time I'm gonna actually react to them like with you. Last time I just kind of recorded an intro and then I did the lazy way. I just added a voiceover to the videos last time. But this time I'm actually sit here and, talk back and forth with you while I watch it. So yeah, let's do it. Okay, so first up we have Labeaud Colbert. I don't know if it's Colbert, but because she's Creole, I'm gonna say it's Colbert.
Hi guys, I wanted to give you guys an update on my ancestry. So I'm going to share my screen. All right, so you see my Cameroon 24%, Nigeria, France, Mali.
So as you can see, she is 69% sub-Saharan African, 31% European, 100% MGM. She doesn't actually read off the rest of her results, so I'll read them for you. She's got 15% France, which is actually one of the higher numbers I'm seeing for younger Creole people these days. 11% Mali, 10% England, Wales, and Northwestern Europe, 4% Benin and Togo, 4% Ghana, 3% Senegal. She's got 2% Sardinia, 2% is that Scotland, 2% Basque. Basque, I find, I wanted to do a video actually about that. Basque, I find a lot in Latinos for sure, and Creoles. And I think because Basque literally sits in between France and Spain. It's its own little mini country within a country type thing. And it literally rests in between France and Spain. So it's interesting when I tend to see Basque a lot in both Creoles and Latinos DNA results. And I can't even see this bottom one, but it's a small percent, so it don't even matter. Okay, let's move along. Okay, so for her communities, she has Louisiana Creoles and African Americans, just like I do. Southern Louisiana French settlers, Greater New Orleans French settlers. I had the Louisiana French settlers, and there was literally an update like yesterday or the day before, and it's gone. My mom still has it on hers. What's this? And East Central Louisiana Acadians. That's cool.
I was able to find out that I had ancestors who were very influential in the foundations of my hometown, New Orleans.
Very influential indeed. This guy, William Kenner, that's crazy. We have a city like on the outskirt of New Orleans called Kenner. It's quite a popular city. It's I mean, it's not New Orleans, but you know, it's Kenner. Like we all know Kenner. If you're from New Orleans, you know what Kenner is. And his first name is William, and Williams Boulevard runs through Kenner. So I'm assuming the Williams part is from his first name, and then the name of the city, Kenner, is his last name. That's really cool.
And then you have Stephen Minor here. He was the last Spanish governor. Very influential person in his time. I was able to understand where the money came from in my family. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a lot of information, obviously, on the African American side, and we all understand why.
Yeah, I can't either. Chime in my comments. How far do y'all tend to get on average? Because like, look, for me, for instance, I had two fully black great grandmothers. I cannot get past their parents, like my great great grandparents. I can't get past it.
I am going to continue researching my African roots. And the crazy thing about it is that if you knew me personally, you would know that I'm just very mixed the way that I am, the way that I live my life, and the cultural way that I raise my children and the way that I live. And like from when I was a little girl, like I've always been into African culture because of my grandmother. I've always been into like things that would be considered like, you know, British and French and all of that. And it's very interesting to see how my personality is a reflection, is a mirror image of what my actual DNA is. And because of that, I don't fit in anywhere. So, you know, I don't fit in with only Caucasian people. I don't fit in with only Black people. I love to be in a mixed environment because that kind of matches my personality. I can identify with so many different people. And maybe that's probably because over the years, different cultural influences helps make up your, you know, it influences your personality type too. I've always been a fan of linguistics. So just to see, you know, just all the French intertwined in my family and all these different other languages.
She is me and I am she. Oh my gosh, like everything she said just now, me, like to the fullest. It's crazy. The whole like being really connected to cultures and caring about cultures. Like I've been, like she said, like that since I was a little girl. I have been fascinated with culture, ethnic groups, accents, anything that has to do with ethnic groups and their cultures, their languages, their words, their accents, their traditions, like, and especially if it had anything to do with me, it feels like it's connected to your DNA. I feel what she's saying. Like it feels like it's literally in you. But anywho, I digress. But that's crazy. She has the same sentiment that I have when it comes to that.
Like it makes me know why I'm so interested and so good at, you know, learning different languages. And then if you want to learn more, you know, you can comment, but I just say keep it positive. If you want to teach somebody something, teach it to them in a positive way. Give constructive criticism or just offer a suggestion or a recommendation. You know, there's no need to go in on someone. For instance, I remember in my last video I said that I'm proud of all of my background, all of it. You know, so you can't tell somebody that they're denying their Blackness by accepting all of what they are made up of.
What?
And so
of all the languages she could have chose to speak, she chose to speak facts. And on today, or whenever she recorded this, she took the words right out of my mouth. Like literally, I embrace all of it. I'm not only saying I'm this, I'm not only pretending to just be this and we're just, I'm not gonna mention that. No, I'm mentioning all of it. So that's like if I told all my children, I love all of you. You're all my children. And then one of them goes, you don't love me. No, you can only love me. If you can only tell people I'm your child. If you tell people you have other children, then that means you hate me. You see how stupid that sounds? It doesn't even make sense. You are a product of what you are a product of. And that just is what it is. Now, like I say, if you 15% of something that you want to ignore, that's fine. I'm not ignoring some shit that I'm damn near 50% of, that I'm like half of. And for me, I've said this in another video, I come from a long line of mulatto, mixed people who cause shit from white people and black people. They caught BS on both sides, from both groups. So, I mean, should I throw you both in the trash? No, it is what it is. History is what it was. People did what they did back in the day. Like, I am both things, and that's fine. Saying I'm both things isn't me saying I'm not black. It's me saying I'm both things. I don't understand what logic y'all be using.
Somebody didn't like when I said that. And you have to understand that that's where you are, and your mentality is not where I am. Right? And so it's like some people want you to be ashamed or upset about being mixed with something. And then the assumption that every person that has any white mixed in them, it came out of. Did you know that many people were mixed before they even came here? Did you know that France, they had a lot of mixed people where it wasn't against the law, and they came here and they were already mixed?
Okay. I did not already know that. She told me something new. I'm gonna have to go look deeper into that.
And then mixed people just kept marrying mixed people. So there's a lot to it. It's a lot deeper than what you might first assume. And if you're just going based off of movies or what some one-sided narrative has told you about, just making out all white people to be the devil or whatever, or that slavery was only one way, or that lots of different things, you have to look deeper. It's about finding the truth, whatever that is.
Hello.
So, and then also understanding that Creole is a ethnicity, just like Puerto Rican and Dominican and, all those others. It's the same thing. And so when you want to tell someone to deny whatever else they are mixed with to suit your narrative or your comfortability, you want to say, well, there's no such thing as Creole, you just black. So if you want to say that you're anything else because you hate being black or you don't like being black, and that couldn't be further from the truth.
Did she have to speak so many facts in one video? I just came here for some DNA results. I'm living for this. I'm leaving this video with life. She's spot on. How are you gonna tell somebody that they are not what they are just to suit your comfortability? That's like that's like us all going to white people and saying, you can't be white. Your ancestors did wrong to my ancestors. Therefore, you can't be white. You have to say you're black. Otherwise, you're racist. Like, what? People are what they are. That's just it. I'm not about to change my identity to make you comfortable. And then the whole, you made that up. But where the hell does that come from? It's literally in documentation from the 1600s, probably before. Like, it is documented. How did we make it up? And so you want us to not, you do this to the Dominicans, y'all, what is y'all problem with this? Y'all want us to not be what we are. It's legitimately in ethnicity. The reason y'all think is not is because y'all have beat it and bashed it into our heads. That is not, that so many of us don't even claim it because we think we're gonna be seen as a racist or bad if we do. And we gotta, most of the time, the most mixed, light-skinned type person has to be the blackest person in the room, otherwise they're racist. They have to be blacker than the regular black people in the room, otherwise they're racist. So many Creole people drop the Creole label, and because at the end of the day, the white man trying to get us all. At the end of the day, he gonna see me, he gonna do the same thing to me that he do to you. And that's how most of them talk. Just to make sure you don't think they're racist. And that's sad. Like, you could still be an ally, you could still be proud of your blackness, you could still stand up for what's right and still stand in your Creoleness at the same time. I see so many Latinos, Afro-Latinos standing up with black people while still being Puerto Rican. It can be done. It can be done. So, but saying you're Creole does not mean you're saying you're not black and you don't want to be black and you're, no. Saying you're Creole is saying what the hell you are. Like, I don't get it. That's like you saying you're American. Does that mean, if I say I'm American, does that mean saying I'm not black? No, my nationality is American. That doesn't mean I'm not black. Like, this girl about to make me go on start a whole nother video.
My grandmother was light. She could pass for white. But if you go into her home, she had African everything in her house. But she said she was Creole. And so what you think is literally, no pun intended, black and white is sometimes gray.
And that's that part right there, that reminded me, that kills me. People like to say that Creole people don't want to be black and don't want to claim our blackness and everything else, whatever the case. It's odd, and y'all do that with Latinos. Y'all get on the Dominicans, y'all get on them all the time. But what's weird to me is that Creole and Caribbean cultures have far more elements of African culture than African Americans ever had. Isn't that weird? We're the ones who don't want to be black, but we have a whole Creole language that is derivative of African languages mixed together with French. Our food, our customs, second line, and voodoo. I don't do voodoo, but I'm saying we have so much stuff that we got straight from Africa that we have carried on to this day. But we're the ones who don't want to be black. And then, and I hear Africans say this a lot of times. They feel like African Americans have taken blackness and they are the blackest. Like as if African Americans are the motherland. And it's like, if you don't do what we do, if you don't say what we say, if you don't believe what we believe, you're not being black. You hate your blackness. So we can have all the African connection we want to have. That's not good enough. Being connected to the actual source that we all come from, the motherland, that's not black. We gotta be on course with African Americans. That's black. That's stupid as hell. Everything I'm saying right now, obviously I'm not talking to every African American. No one group of people all believes the same thing. I'm talking to the ones that say this stupid stuff. I'm talking to them.
If you're a reasonable, logical person who is coming from a place of understanding and wanting to understand history and stories and getting a full scope of what was going on in that time, then you would understand that and be open to that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. A word or two. That's what she gave us. I agree with everything she just said. She did that. I applaud her. So, I came to this video for one thing. I'm leaving with so much more. I hope y'all leaving with so much more. But yeah, I'll go to her channel. She probably got more good stuff on there. But yeah, so let's move on to these next videos. So for this next video, we have Mia X. Y'all know we have a rapper from that was with No Limit named Mia X. This is not her, but that's funny that she made her name that. I wonder if her name is Mia and then she just made her screen name Mia X. I don't know, but that's the video we're watching right now.
A little bit of background about me. I'm from New Orleans, and I come from a Creole family on both sides. My mom and my dad's both Creole. And growing up, we heard that we were French and Black and Spanish and Irish and Scottish and some Filipino thrown in there. And I think that's basically it. I might have missed one or two things, but anyway, always the majority, as far as any European blood, we knew, we were definitely, had French blood, African blood, Indian blood in us. And on my mom's side, I remember her telling us, you know, that her grandparents and aunts and uncles and stuff, you know, would speak French when they were little kids and they didn't want them to hear the grown-up conversation, you know.
See, this pisses me off. You know how many times I have heard this? My great aunt was just telling me that happened with her parents. Everybody, Creole people, Cajun people, everybody has the same story, that the older people would speak French or they would speak Creole, and they would not teach the children just so that they could say what they wanted to say without the children knowing what they were saying. What? I cannot imagine speaking a language fluently that I don't speak to my children. If you didn't want them to hear what you were saying, like, go in the other room or whisper, like, do whatever it is. Like, I don't get that for the life of me.
So anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna let you know what my results were with Ancestry.com. Okay, and I'm gonna try to show you the screen. I don't know how good it's gonna show up on, you know, on camera, but I'll try to show you.
Bless her heart. The older people don't know how to just add the, you know, the stuff to the screen later and what have you. Like, she's like, instead of just adding that to the video later, adding the actual text so we could actually see it. I can't see this, ma'am. She ain't even scroll or nothing. She just...
So starting out, Africa, my DNA results show that I am 37% African, and of that 37%, I am 12% Cameroon, Congo, 10% Ivory Coast, Ghana, 6% African Southeastern Bantu, and I have 9% trace regions. Now, of those trace regions, I am 4% Nigerian, 3% Senegalese, I guess you call it, and I am less than 1% Benin Togo, Africa, South Central hunter-gatherers, and less than 1% Mali. So my total of all of that is 37%, and that's my African ancestry that I have. Next is the Americas, and I am 1% Native American, okay? Next is Europe, and this is where I really did get several shockers about my ethnic background, because I'm 53% European, okay? Of that 53%, whopping 40% not French. French is nowhere to be found in my DNA results, which freaked me out, okay? I am 40% British, Great Britain, 40%. That was very, very surprising. No one on either side of my family ever claimed any kind of British blood.
So the thing with that is these DNA tests are illegal in France. So we don't even have a large database of French people to even compare our DNA with. So, and especially, you know, this is an old video. She uploaded this 7 years ago. Her results are old. So even more so back then, there were even less, you know, it was an even smaller database of French people. So what I'm thinking happens a lot of times is that northern France is right across the water from Great Britain. So the closest thing that would be similar to, you know, what is found in our French DNA probably is, you know, that of people from Great Britain. Especially, you know, if our ancestors came from northern France. So that's probably what happened. She probably had ancestors from northern France. There's not a large French database. And she probably ended up, you know, that probably ended up getting confused for British ancestry. I'm sure she does have some British ancestry, but I'm pretty sure a big chunk of this is also French. And I'm sure she's had updates since this was uploaded 7 years ago. And I'm willing to bet money that if we were to see her updated results now, there would, you know, I'm sure it shows some French ancestry.
So of the rest of that 13%, there are trace regions all over the place. And they are 4% Italy, Greece, which was a very nice surprise because I love Italy. I've been there twice. They're just wonderful people. So I'm gonna take that little bit, even though it's just 4%. I'm happy about that.
She uploaded this video 7 years ago, so I don't know if Italy was different. Well, she uploaded this 7 years ago, but I don't know when she went to Italy. She could have went 20 years ago. So I don't know if Italy has changed a lot, but I've been on my feed, at least I get tons of videos of people, black people, saying how racist they are and how mean they are, like specifically about Italians in Italy, and just it's awful. So it's weird that they keep popping up, because I'm like, well, why black people keep going to Italy? Like, I've seen a ton of them. So it's like, I know you saw them, so why are you going? Like, why would you even go? But anyway, so I was just wondering, because has a different outlook. I mean, she don't look black at all, so it might have something to do with it. Or unless it just changed over time. I don't know.
Next is Iberian Peninsula, 4%. So there's the Spanish. It's only 4%, but it's there. And next is 2%. European Jewish. 1% Europe East. 1% Scandinavia, which was another surprise. Scandinavia. Pretty cool. And then less than 1%. Ireland, less than 1% Ireland. So those are my European background. Now here's the other big shocker. 9% left that I have is West Asia. Okay, of that 9%.
I don't know. I don't think that's typically a thing with Creole people, to have so much Asian. Obviously it exists, like lots of things exist. Don't come in my comments saying my great aunt, but just as a whole, that is not a thing. So that's actually really interesting that she has well, you know what, I'm saying Asian, but she said West Asia, which is the Middle East. So it's not, when we say Asian, we're thinking Chinese, Japanese, whatever, but she's not. But still, tomato, like anything in Asia that's not normally in our mix, as far as I know. Now, what I do see sometimes, I do see like North African, so I guess, you know what, I take that back. For some reason, we do have like a little, that Araby type thing, Middle East, North African, it's like Arab type. And that's the thing. And you know what, it's probably coming from the Spanish, because of the Moors. That's probably what it is. But we normally, like when I see it, it's like 1 or 2%. So it being so tiny, it's probably coming from the Spanish ancestry, but hers is 9%. I don't feel like she would have that much if it was just, you know, coming from the Moors from forever ago. I feel like it's a little more recent than that. Like it's probably not modern day, but it's probably, somebody was probably Arab in semi-recent history, because 9%, is kind of a lot. Like I feel like somebody in her family should be able to account for this at 9%. You know what she did in the beginning, say that her family told her they had Filipino in them, which I thought was interesting when she said it. So they do have some idea that something from that area, you know, somehow they had an idea of something. Now, something got lost in translation because Filipino is not West Asian, but, you know, they did have an idea that somebody came from somewhere over there in the East.
Of that 9%, it was 7% Middle Eastern. Whoa, that was so surprising. I was like, what? I wish that they would have broke it down to like what country, you know, in the Middle East, but they didn't. I guess they just don't have the technology to do that right now. But 7% Middle East, and then I have 2% Caucasus, which I think it's somewhere around Turkey, that area. A lot of people come up to me and say, what are you? Are you black? Are you white? What exactly are you? I'll just whip out my cell phone and say, hey honey, let me tell you. Anyway, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video. See ya.
So lastly, we have the Creole Vlog. Shouts out to her again. She's one of my subscribers. So let's check out her video, and y'all go subscribe to her channel too.
So let's jump into my results. My first and largest percentage is 22% Mali. And I don't even think I have a background on myself, but like a little background on me. I am 22 years old. I'm from Louisiana, and my ethnic background is Creole. Well, yeah, a lot of the slaves from the 1719 registry reports was from largely the tribes of Bambara, Wolof, and Fulani. My second largest percentage is going to be 18% from Cameroon, Congo, and Western Bantu peoples. The third one we have is 16% Nigeria, and we all know about Nigeria, period. So yeah, okay, I'm a Nigerian sister now. Okay, cool. I like Nigeria a lot. The next one is Senegal. So it is 13% Senegal. And also, if you look in the Louisiana Creole flag, which I'm going to put probably like right here, it shows the Malian flag, the Senegal flag, the Spanish cathedral, and the French fleur-de-lis. And that represents everything that a Creole person, a Louisiana Creole person is, ethnically anyway. The next one we have Germanic Europe, 8%. So it says primarily located in Germany and the Netherlands, but it says also found in Austria, Belgium, Czech Republic, France, Hungary, Luxembourg, Slovenia, and Switzerland.
So again, just as with the young lady from the last video who had all that British ancestry that I believe is actually a good bit of French ancestry disguised as British ancestry, I feel like the same thing might be going on here. And yeah, she could very well have, you know, German or Belgium or Austrian or whatever else ancestry that falls within Germanic Europe. But because northeastern France does fall within the vicinity of Germanic Europe, my wild guess is that she does have at least some French ancestry, and perhaps her French ancestors came from northeastern France. Because, you know, like I said before, by these tests being outlawed in France, there's not a big pool of French DNA to compare ourselves to. So I do feel like a lot of times French DNA might be designated as British or German or, you know, Germanic Europe, or perhaps Southern French might be designated as Spanish, or, you know, just because there's not a lot of actual French DNA, it'll often be designated as something else from one of these bordering countries. So my wild guess is that she likely has at least some French ancestry within this Germanic Europe. But I mean, you know, who knows?
So I guess thumbs up for Germanic Europe. The next one is 6% Benin and Togo. And then we have, the next one is 3% Wales. I don't really know much about Wales, but the next one is 3% Ireland. Next one we have 2% Ivory Coast and Ghana. The next one is 2% Northern Africa, which I really did not expect to see Northern Africa.
See, like I was saying, she has North African. Like a lot of, well, the few Creole ones that I've seen, they have North African. I think my sister does too, if I'm not mistaken. I don't. Now when I took this test for my very first results that I ever got from Ancestry back in like 2017, I think, or 2018, I had Middle Eastern. So that's the thing. Like I did have Middle Eastern. It went away since then. I don't know. It's probably connected because I do still have like a little like Italian and Greek and all that up there. So it's probably has something to do with that, like the Mediterranean. Yeah, I don't know.
The next one is another one that I did not expect to see, Sardinia. So next we have 2% Spain, which I did expect Spain because, hey, it owned Louisiana at one point. Southern Bantu peoples, 1%. Next we have Indigenous Americas North, so basically American Indian, Native American, Indigenous, etc., etc. 1% Scotland. The next one, after the 1% Scottish, we have 1% Indigenous Americas, Panama, and Costa Rica.
I wonder what her Panama, Costa Rica indigenous is linked to. I wonder if it's linked to her Spanish, and if like it was in the same one person and that person actually came from Latin America, or if it's like two separate things, if that person came from Spain and this is just something different.
And next we're going to go down to my DNA communities. It says early Louisiana Creoles and African Americans because it says from 1700 to 1975. And it says Central and Southern Louisiana Creoles and African Americans. Okay. The next one is from 1775 to 1975. And it says my ancestors were South and Central Louisiana Creoles and African Americans. Makes sense, from the regions of Alexandria area to Avoyelles Parish, and I am from Avoyelles Parish, so that makes a lot of sense. And by Avoyelles Parish, I mean Marksville, Louisiana. It's the Alexandria area to Avoyelles Parish Creoles and African Americans. It also says Central Acadiana Creoles, so basically Cajun Creoles, and African Americans. And if you know anything about Avoyelles Parish, it is the northernmost Acadiana parish. However, pause. The people there aren't Cajun. The people there are mostly Creole. It's just that in Avoyelles Parish, they don't speak Louisiana Creole. They speak Louisiana French. Then from 1700 to 1950, it says East Central Louisiana Acadians. So basically, I have some Cajun ancestors. And it says Rapides, Avoyelles, Point Coupé, and West Baton Rouge French settlers. My last one is Georgia coastal plain to Central Florida African Americans. And I think that would come from my dad's side. That's cool. It says Southeast South Carolina and Georgia border African Americans. So to speak on my results, it's what I expected, to say the least, because if you're Creole, right, then obviously it consists of African, French, Spanish, and indigenous. So I'm not surprised.
And her grand total is 78% Sub-Saharan African, 19% European, 2% North African, and less than 2% Native American. Nice. All right, loved her video too. What I like about her video is that even though she's not mixed, I mean, obviously we're all African Americans are mixed, you know what I mean? I know you're like, we just watched a DNA thing and it shows she's mixed. Like, I know, you know what I mean by mixed. She's in the same range with African Americans. But what I like about it is that it still shows her unique background as a Black Creole person. Because she still had a drop of Spanish, a drop of Italian, that Germanic Europe, like I said, I'm pretty sure that's indicative of something French. So even people like to say not all Creole people are mixed and some are just Black, blah, blah, blah. I understand that. But even the Black Creoles, when you dig deep enough into their European ancestry, it's still going to be a little different than African Americans. So we're still ethnically unique in that sense. Even the Black ones, even when they're not highly mixed, the drop of European it's different European. I mean, we're gonna, at this point, we're gonna have a little bit of British in there, a little Scottish, a little Irish. That's gonna be there because it's been so long. We've been intermingling with people who don't come from Louisiana for so long. But you're still seeing, all these generations later, you're still seeing 2-3% Spanish, French pop up. Like, it's there. Wow, I really liked all their results. Like I said, I just really love watching DNA tests. I especially love when I stumble upon a Creole one. And every last one of them remind me of people in my family. The older woman, she reminds me of like all the older people in my family. They're like her. They're like, you know, my grandparents' generation and stuff. And then the other two young ladies, they're kind of like most of the other people in my family. And it's just nice seeing, you know, all the different representations, that all the different packages that Creole people come in. And I especially loved the extra bit of talking points that the young woman in the first video gave. Like, she hit the nail on the head. And especially with Creole people being just kind of dispersed everywhere and not really, you know, really standing up for ourselves and speaking up. Some people have separate ethnic identities, and that is okay. I mean, literally everyone on earth has their own ethnic identities. What am I saying? Some people. We all have, even African American is an ethnic identity. We all have ethnicities. So why a Jamaican can freely say I'm Jamaican and not receive any flack behind it, but a Dominican can't freely say they're Dominican, a Creole can't freely say they're Creole? I don't know. I know, but we all know. And then for us, for Creoles, like, we know better. We're not even out here saying I know Black. If you ask me what I am, here's what it is. If you ask me what I am, I'm going to respond with my ethnicity. I'm going to say I'm Creole. But different people identify differently. Some will identify racially, some will identify ethnically. Most people who aren't American actually identify by their nationality. I'm damn sure not about to just be like, I'm American. That don't really work here. But, you know, most other people, I'm Mexican, I'm Puerto Rican. Most people identify by nationality. Different people identify differently. So if you ask me, I identify ethnically, I'm gonna say I'm Creole. But if you were to designate me as black and say I was black, well, I am mixed with black, so I'm not about to be like, I know black. Yeah, that's fine. Like, I'm not about to negate it. So I don't even know what y'all problem is. It's not like any of us are out here denying that we're black or mixed with black or we don't want to be. That's not the case. So I don't know. But yeah, overall I really love these results, and it's nice seeing my culture represented by others. More of us need to do it. I urge more Creole people to post your DNA results, to talk a little bit about your family and yourself, and you're like, stand up and be heard. It's okay. And the reason I also wanted to put these results on my page is I just kind of want to start creating a little, I don't know, not time capsule, but just a little resource that we can all just go to where our stuff is just at for Creole people. Because for so long we have not done that. We have not spoken for ourselves. We have just disappeared into the background or fully integrated into other people's cultures. Most went the African American route, some went the white route. So I think it's time for us to just stand up and be us. Not that we're not black. Like your girl was saying in the video, her grandma had African art everywhere. They were very proudly African. Not that we are not proud of our African ancestry, but it's just that we are a different ethnic group. African American is an ethnic group. Creole is an ethnic group. I'm Creole. I am mixed with black. My nationality is American. So I'm going on a tangent. But anywho, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys and all your lovely comments and the support that I do get from people who do appreciate my culture, from other Creole people who like really appreciate the fact that I am speaking on our stuff. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, so I'll see you guys later. Au revoir.